All right, this is King David. This is my live writing session. I'm not doing as much writing today. I'm helping and listening to critique some of our members. And one of the questions is, let me just give you a brief walkthrough if this is the first time you've ever been in the live writing. We have different views of the recording studio. Overhead are the keyboards so we can teach you chords. We have screen capture so we can show you the FL Studio environment. And that is my BlackBerry in the background. And we have another wide studio shot that you'll get, and you see the Korg Triton. That's when you get to see my beautiful self. And then we have another view that gives you a bird's eye view of the keyboard controller, and I get to model my hands. All right. So now what we do here is I write live online every day, and members can come and hang out with me. Uh, and what I try and do is answer questions and make corny jokes and basically teach music production. All right, so the question it was, could I show a little bit about compression? Okay, so let me just show you what happened on your song, Infected. You had a really hot song, powerful drums, and compression is a good thing and a bad thing. You don't want to use too much, um, and you can get away with using too little, but you don't want to use too much because then it will just destroy all of the harmonic frequencies. And harmonic frequencies are the natural frequencies or currents of sound. So in other words, each sound has a particular frequency. A low kick drum has a frequency. A high snare has a frequency. And I can even begin. I've done it so long that I can begin to, off the top of my head, name the frequency that most instruments operate in. Low kick is going to be from 20 to 50 hertz, right? So is your bass. But then doesn't mean that the 250 hertz won't affect those sounds either. All right, so understanding compression means you need to understand equalization. They go hand in hand. They're like Biggie and Tupac. You can't talk about Pac without talking about Biggie. You can't talk about compression without talking about equalization. All right, because they both affect the frequency band. All right, so now let's just take a track, any old track. Let's see. This is a song I'm working on for a client. All right, and all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and over compress this song, and you're gonna hear how incredibly nasty it sounds. First of all, I would use the Fruity multi-band compressor on the master mix because it's a multi-band, and again, you're dealing with the master, and you want to affect a multitude of frequencies. That's why it means multi-band. It means many bands. So with this compressor, you can change the compression of the different frequencies, just the low frequency, the mids, and the highs, and so forth. All right, so what Infected did, he had this really hot, and Infected Mind is one of our members. He had this really hot track, and what compression will do, it will actually increase the volume of your sound, but it will also destroy the frequencies. So there's a fine line that you have to travel. There is a rule of thumb. You really don't want to go too much higher than a 2.0 compression on an overall mix. And, well, you would probably then say, well, why do they have more? Why is there a 4.7 and a 4.4, 2.9 if all I need to do is 1.9? And my simple answer to that is for effect, because you don't want to over compress anything. All right, so I will go, rather than the 1.9, I'll go to the mastering, which is somewhere around 2.4. You can go with a mastering at 6 decibels, but that increases the decibels. The 1.9 is the ratio, so those are two different things. The 1.9 means that it's the ratio of compression to sound. So 9 to 1, all right? 9 to 2, 4 to 4, so forth. You understand how that works? All right? So now, let's go ahead and change the compression. I'm going to go ahead and put a 6 compression. All right. All right, so you hear it the way it is naturally. Now let's put a 6 on it. Let's see what happens. Can you hear that? Hear how scratchy it is and how subdued it is? it basically ruined the song. All right, now let's go back. Let's put it back on mastering. You hear the difference? Okay, so yeah, it sounds raspy. It destroys the sound. So you have to really, really be sparing when you use compression. Some people try and compress each and every track. I'm not a big student of that. I like my tracks to be as clean as possible, and then at the end of the master mix, I'll put a compression on the overall mix. Okay? All right, so this has been a quick lesson over at Fruity Loops University. It's your boy King David, David and Goliath, musicbeatclass.com, where we teach you how to produce music professionally. All right, the world's best professional music tutorials. Yeah.